Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And what we're here today to do is kind of talk a little bit about how to help people through this, because people are finding a whole new lifestyle right now. Everybody's jammed in the house with the kids. They can't do anything. There's a lot of pressure and stress. Just kind of wondering about maybe some tools or some thoughts you might have to help people out.
Sure. I mean, this is really a difficult time. Really, I mean, none of us have ever had to deal with this. So if you feel stressed out, you're normal, first of all. Secondly, I get emails every day with suggestions about how to manage our mental health through this, and one email in particular really resonated with me, and I'm just going to go through those 5 points that I feel like are helpful to me, and I think helpful to our clients, and hopefully helpful for all of you out there. Number one, I think, is separate what you can control from what you can't control. There's so much that's out of our control right now, and when we think about those things a lot, that can be very distressing. So try to focus on the things you can control. What can you control in your house? What can you control within your family? What can you do in terms of your job? And the things that you can't control, try to let go. Try to not think about them all the time, or if you do need to think about them, give yourself a time limit for how long you will think about them, and then give yourself a break. It's too much to think about such gigantic things. It's very overwhelming emotionally. Second is do what makes you feel safe. So actually, by this point now, the governor has basically said we can't go anywhere except for essential activities. But I think as you're thinking through what makes you feel safe, what time you go to the grocery store, if you go to the grocery store, do what makes you feel comfortable. Don't be pressured into doing things you don't feel are safe. Third is go outside. We know that being outside, just the fresh air, the sun, it gets us to feel like there's something bigger than us, which is also important to our mental health, is really important. I've been so happy when at my lunchtime, I went down to the Amherst park down the street here, and I was so happy to see the parking lot full, barely a place to park. Fourth is to challenge yourself to stay in the present moment. So we probably more than, in general, we never know what's going to happen in the future, but more now than ever, try to stay present in the moment. What is happening to me right now? Do I have enough to eat right now? Do I have a safe place to be right now? Do I have family surrounding me right now? Which ultimately I think leads toward gratitude. In times like this, if we can stay focused on what we have instead of what we don't have, it really leads to feeling better, I believe. And then last but not least is stay connected. If you are someone who's staying at home and you don't have family with you, stay connected through technology, phone calls. Don't let yourself, as much as you want to binge TV, which I think is going to get really old soon, make sure you stay connected to real people and that you're reaching out. And then last thing I would say, which isn't on this list, is that if you start to feel worse, if you start to feel symptoms of depression or anxiety in a way that you don't want to leave the home or you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, it's better to catch those things sooner or later. Get up and move, and if you need help, call us. The Nord Center is still open. We're one of the essential services. Our intake is still open. We haven't shut down any of our services. Most of our services are being done by telephone, but if you need to be seen in person, you can come here and you can be seen in person.
So let me ask you kind of a direct question. There are a lot of people now who are so deep in the news. People are taking both sides of issues. This is a big deal, this isn't a big deal, and spending a lot of time on social media. How do you recognize when maybe you're a little too deep into it, and then how do you kind of back out of that a little bit, because it is almost obsessive at a certain point?
Yeah, I think once you feel like if it's the only thing you're thinking about, and if it's really causing emotional distress, and I get this way. If I read too much on the internet, or if I'm watching a news channel for too long, I kind of feel myself getting amped up. So if you feel yourself getting amped up, take a breath, turn it off, and leave it aside. And I would say if you're someone who tends to get into that frequently, given all the negativity that's happening right now, I would try to give yourself schedule time that you're going to look and don't look in between time. Nothing's going to change that significantly in 4 hours or whatever. Give your brain a break. One of the things we've learned about the brain is the brain cannot distinguish between what's happening to me as a person versus if I watch something on TV. The brain translates that trauma and that impact almost the same way. So you need to kind of have as little exposure to that as possible.
And I guess lastly is, you listed some good things as far as ways to kind of avoid getting trapped in stuff. Are there any other resources online that maybe distractions or anything like that you can think of right off the top that might be helpful?
I'm not getting paid by these companies at all, but I think the Calm app and Headspace, I think, are fantastic. It's a great way to use our device, I think, in a really healthy way. You can set up reminders for yourself. Again, it's all about that mindfulness and trying to find inner peace in a world that is a little chaotic right now. So those are the things that I would recommend.
Okay. I could seriously talk to you about this all day long. We're going to cut this video now because I know I could go on, and we're just going to kind of cut it here, and hopefully we could pick it up again later. Some great tips, and really thank you very much. I know it's very busy for you guys right now, so
my pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care.